What up? We're vlogging. It's not how you're supposed to clean your lens, but... Okay, so it's Friday, probably. And this is what I got today. So, camera tweak. This. Also, it's on a little baby tripod, which I found very, very nice, actually. I've been walking around, and I've had it sort of folded under. Let me show you. I'm enjoying it. Let's see if I can take it off real quick. I've had it folded under, and it works kind of like a handle. This guy, this little baby foldy tripod. Yeah, so better than nothing. It gives me something to grip, because this camera doesn't come with a battery grip, so you don't. And it's a mirrorless camera, and even though it's a big mirrorless camera, it still sort of falls off the hand a little bit. So, I took a picture. I don't know why. Yeah. Okay. Did I write this week? Yes. I did some journaling and came up with a couple ideas for projects. So it was okay. And I woke up in the middle of the night and had an idea and wrote for about an hour. I have a lot of water in my eyebrows, apparently. So I did a little bit of writing. Did I read? No, I don't think I did. Did I watch stuff? Well, I don't really have access to anything, so I've watched 4 out-of-order episodes of Veep about 8 times, and hilarious. And then I've watched the first 5 episodes of The Mick, which I did watch when it came out. I watched the first 3 or 4. It's good. It's just not, it's very sort of down the middle, I guess. It's networky. I guess the way you would describe it is it's networky. It's well written. It's well done. It's a proper thing, but it's not really risk taking because it's networky. So, which is sort of the purpose of you sort of have network, and then you have basic cable, and then you have deep cable, and then you have premium like HBO, and then you have like Netflix, which is its own thing. And the further you go along that line, sort of the more risk taking is encouraged, I would say. So network, not risk taking, because you want to get the biggest, broadest audience. I think if you asked any network executive about risk taking, they would say, yes, we love risk taking. Risk taking is how you innovate, blah blah blah. But when it comes down to it, in order to hit the lowest common denominator, you gotta play the lowest common denominator. So that's why something like The Mick on Fox is really sort of broad and simple and just not risk-taking. So, writing tip. The other week I said, think about how what you're working on contextualizes in all the other projects you have or you have upcoming to sort of define your career. Today, I'm thinking do the opposite. Don't think about the legacy. Just treat the idea objectively, or as objectively as possible, and see if it still works. Even if it's not your genre, if it's a Lifetime original movie that you're working on, and you're a half-hour sitcom writer. Does it still work as an idea? Does it still work as a story? Because, the lessons are the lessons. Like, a story is a story is a story. It either works or it doesn't. So, even if you don't like the content of the story. Box office, didn't do it, can't do it, till the next time. And then my recommend is the first 2 episodes of The Mick, because the pilot of The Mick isn't really a pilot, because it doesn't really, it's a premise pilot, but it's really a 2-episode premise pilot. Mickey doesn't really move into the house until the end of episode 2, So it's really like an hour-long premise pilot for a half-hour show, which is a little bit different than traditional, whereas you try to get the pilot out of the way as quickly as possible and then start the story. This one is sort of a hybrid where the story evolves a little bit over the first 2 episodes and then it goes. Another way to do it is to just not have a pilot at all and just go, which is a much more cable, risk-taking adventure. So this is the fact that it took 2 episodes for the Mick to finish its sort of premise. That's a little bit more innovative than normal network TV. So I think it's worth checking out, because I think a lot of network TV is going to be like this, where it's more patient than historically it has been in telling a story, but it's still very safe. Yeah, so there's definitely arguments behind the scenes about whether or not the Mick having the pilot take 2 episodes, whether that was a good idea, because you have to really have a lot of faith in your product in order to expect the audience to come back a second time, and you're still struggling through the premise, if that makes sense. There's an argument to be made for the pilot sucked, maybe episode 2 will be better, so just don't count the pilot for anything. And this was the other direction, which is the pilot is part of the ongoing story. So yeah, so I think the Mick is just a good example of the evolution of how half-hour storytelling is going, but from the network direction, which is very safe and very old and very not risk-taking. So, which is to say, I think the Mick is one of the riskier half-hour shows in the last couple years on a network show, or on a network. But when you put it up against every other show, because now most shows are cable or deeper, it's a very straightforward, very broad, very down-the-middle story. So, not to say it's bad. You can still write incredibly in that framework of safeness. It's just a different style of writing. So, all right, well, that's all I got. Bye.